If you're anything like me, you've probably had a few routines where you tried to improve yourself, but I would bet that it's fallen through in the end. Maybe you get through like a week or like a month or two, right? But, you know, it ends up falling through. And I'd also bet my left nut that it's because your identity's never changed. You might craft a great routine that brings you fulfillment, and that's pretty great, don't get me wrong, but if you still crave for your old habits, it's not going to be sustainable in the long run. If you still want to game, you still want to binge scroll and, you know, other things that you know you shouldn't be doing, it's destined to fail, unfortunately. And of course, I'm speaking from experience here, because in the past, no matter how hard I tried, I'd always find myself just craving for that comfort, and it would always prevail over like my want to improve. So what's up, boys? Big old Jimbo here. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's just dive straight into this one, okay? What's the problem with keeping the same identities while grinding for a better life? Now, this is usually a problem for one main reason. It's because you believe that once you obtain these goals that you're setting out for yourself, whether that be a jacked body, financial freedom, mental clarity, then and only then will you be able to relax and be comfortable because you've made it. You don't have to work anymore. You can sit back, reap the rewards, and game as much as you want with that cushion of progression that you put so much work into. Now, there's two glaring issues with this, unfortunately. Firstly, this implies that everything you're working for, the money, the body, the socialization, is simply to obtain comfort. So in actuality, while your actions have changed, your goals haven't. You still, beneath it all, seek comfort. This leads to problem number two. You can have comfort right now. Your brain sees you putting all this hard work into obtaining these outcomes just to arrive at comfortness. But this is completely illogical because you could, right now, be comfortable. You could be scrolling YouTube or playing games or anything. So what are you putting all this hard work in for when you could just literally relax right now? I mean, yeah, sure, you wouldn't be jacked, you wouldn't be rich or anything, but we've already established that's not really your goal. You've just glamorized a coping mechanism for chasing comfort. So really, your brain isn't malfunctioning here. Think of it this way, right? You have a glass of water in front of you, and you have a big bottle of water in the room next door, and you're thirsty. Would you walk past the glass of water to get the larger bottle in the next room? Of course you wouldn't. So logically speaking, why would you sacrifice years of your life to attain comfort when you could literally just be comfortable right now? This was old me. Old me wanted comfort. I wanted to grind games 24/7, and I wanted that superficial fulfillment to keep me numb, right? So every time I started one of these journeys, I would usually last like a month max before it all started falling apart. And hey, I guess we can't really count me out yet because we're only on day 19 here, so it might happen again, you know? No, but I can tell it's different this time, and that's not just copium, because old me would be avoiding anything that made me uncomfortable. I'd still be playing games, I'd still be doom scrolling, being fixated on money, you know, overthinking all my problems. I'm sure you know the drill behind all of this. But to be honest, now I'm realizing I have so much to do, I literally don't have time to be worrying about all that shit. Now, unfortunately, in this war that you're going to have, old you has a significant advantage because he has the home ground, right? He knows how to keep us comfy, right? It's safe, it's familiar, and we don't like uncertainty, and changing our lives is exactly that. And it will, I promise you this, start feeding you doubt on a daily basis. What if you put in all this work and it was all for nothing? What if you get to next year in your journey and nothing's changed? There's basically no point in doing it, bro. Just take it easy. Just relax. You can't listen to this voice. And as harsh as it sounds, that voice has got to go forever.
He has to go, blood. He has to go, blood.
But what do I mean by that? Just not listening to it? Well, no, not quite. It's always going to be there. I know in a lot of these self-improvement videos, these gurus like to glorify ego death and how you have to kill your old self to make room for your new self. Personally, I think that's just a bit too extreme and pretty nonsensical. What the fuck did old you do to deserve to die? Right? For me specifically, old me got me through some seriously tough times, bro. I was finding tremendous satisfaction in gaming. And even though I saw myself as like this lazy, unproductive gamer, I would grind and study the fuck out of these games and become pretty fucking good at them. I can't lie to you, bro. I mean, I'm sure you can relate. There's plenty games that we have figured out to a T, and we know way too much about the lore and mechanics than we have any right to know, right? I mean, I was like top 0.5% in league at one point. I got a sub 30 run on Minecraft. Sometimes I would solo an Apex Legends lobby. Like, fuck me. Old me was good at this shit, bro. So I think it's unfair to just execute someone who helped me get through some serious stuff and develop skills, even if you didn't notice they were being developed. But the problem is, old you can't mature. He wants to stay where he is, and he never wants to leave because it's what he knows. I'm never going to plan to kill old me. I'm just going to kick him to the backseat and let him watch me drive. Sure, he'll be moaning like a kid in my ear sometimes, wanting to play games and do bad habits. And you know what, fuck it. Every now and again, I'll let him drive. You know what I mean? Take a weekend off, binge some games, maybe go out drinking with some friends and get smashed. I don't know. But the main point is, I want to integrate him into my life, you know? I don't want to be ashamed of who I was. I just want to, you know, simply acknowledge it and say that's not me anymore. Now, unfortunately, that can only be accomplished through boring, continuous reps, day in, day out, for weeks or even months on end, with him complaining in my ear every day. It's not glamorous, bro. I'll tell you that. It's really not glamorous. And you know this. If there was some secret thing I could tell you where we could achieve this in a day, I would tell you immediately. But from what I see, that doesn't exist. What I can tell you, however, is how to start planning your identity shift. And this is important. So listen. First of all, you need to give yourself a time block and truly decide who you want to be. Don't half-ass this. You need to seriously think about it. Do you want to be more stoic? Do you want to be richer, in better shape, more mindful? Maybe you want to pursue a sport or play an instrument that you put down ages ago, right? You might want to cook nicer food. I don't know. There's thousands and thousands of identities out there that you can choose from that you want to achieve. So just don't make a mental note of this. I want you to write it down. Like, no, a text document is fine, to be fair, but pen and paper is always better. Now that you have some identities written down of what you want to be, it's time to pinpoint what actions you need to take to actually achieve them. I'll go through some with you. You want to be more stoic? Read philosophy. You want to be richer? Develop a high-value skill of your choosing, or, you know, even read books on it. I think there's the Millionaire Shortcut or something. I actually don't know the name of the book, but apparently it's very good. You want to be more mindful? That's easy. Just meditate. Language learning, playing an instrument. Dedicate 15 to 30 minutes a day to developing these skills. You have to do this every day, without fail, while telling yourself that you're not doing it because you want to be better or you want to be in control of yourself, but you're just doing it because that's who you are now. Like me, for example, I'm a gym goer. I'm a language learner. I'm an active young man. And I guess I'm an influencer now, which sounds kind of weird to say, but it also makes me pretty happy as well. You know, actually, I forget where I heard this. I think it might have been Atomic Habits by James Clear, but it's a great analogy to like really solidify this. Every time you take an action towards your identity, you are casting a vote in your mind to become that person. And the reason this is so powerful is because it works both ways. You can also write down a list of identities that you don't want to be. Are you addicted to video games? Are you overweight? Are you unsociable? Every time you prevent yourself from indulging in these actions, you cast a vote towards not being that type of person. If you exercise slightly, if you stop eating the bad food, you're saying, I don't want to be overweight. If you're saying yes to social events, you're casting votes to becoming more sociable, and you're casting votes to who you finally want to be. Now look, I'm not going to explain much further because you have work to do, buddy. Go out there and conquer the fucking world. Find yourself and start making strides to who you want to be, man. This has been big old fucking Jimbo. God bless you, brother. I will see you very soon.